Judy is the CEO of Sunnyside Community Services, and we'd like to thank her for hosting this event. So big round of applause for Judy Zangwell. And we can't start without saying thank you to Monica, Chu, and John for all their work putting everything together. They made this room beautiful. They set up the sound, they set up the PowerPoint, and we're very grateful. Before we hear from our wonderful keynote speaker, New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli, I want to thank the staff of Sunnyside Shines, Evelyn Chanko, our program manager. Without Evelyn, nothing would happen. She's double the size of our social media within a year. She's remarkable, she's wonderful, and give a big round of applause for Evelyn. Because without Evelyn, none of this would happen. Next, Daniel Flores is our outreach coordinator. He does amazing work. He does all of our videography. He runs our YouTube channel. He runs our TikToks. He's absolutely brilliant. He does all of our graphic design. He's from the Demole family here in Sunnyside. Big round of applause for Daniel. Is Ahmed Busan, who's our Open Street coordinator. So big round of applause for Ahmed. Last but not least, we have two outstanding interns, superstar interns, Suraj Singh and Kenneth Perez Gonzalez. I'm giving that right. We also want to thank our volunteer extraordinaire, a former staffer of Sunnyside Shine, somebody who comes out and works with us for every single one of these events, Janet Hohenstein. Big round of applause. I'd also like to thank Dobby and Pete from Pete's Grill. They've donated the food. The food is right over here, so help yourself. It's good food. Thank you, Pete's Grill. Thank you to Dobby. Thank you to Pete. You guys are absolutely wonderful partners. And there's sodas in the back as well, so make sure that you eat and drink. And without further ado, first elected to the Mineola Board of Education in 1972, becoming the first 18-year-old elected in New York State to public office. Our state comptroller, Thomas DiNapoli, broke ground and broke the ceiling for getting involved in politics young. So he's been involved for a number of years. He was elected to the New York State Assembly in 1986, served with distinction for 20 years before he was elevated to be our New York State Comptroller in 2007. He's been re-elected by huge majorities 4 times. He's there every single day fighting for us, making sure that he has a steady hand on our state pension funds, and fighting fraud and ensuring oversight. Without further ado, I give you our keynote speaker, Thomas DiNapoli.
Can you hear me? Is the mic working? Yes. I heard a little bit of an echo with Dirk. It was like, like the voice of God there coming down. Dirk McCall DiPaloma is a dear friend. He's been trying to get me to come to one of your meetings for I don't know how long. And I'm glad I was finally able to be at this meeting. And it's great to see this wonderful turnout. I know sometimes when people hear this a keynote speaker, you think it's going to be a long time, but I'm under orders, not to be too long. But I'm really delighted to be here. And I certainly want to also acknowledge Maria Medina, your acting chair, soon to be chair. Give her another round of applause. Board members, current and future, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for my colleagues in government, I see a very good friend of mine is here already. One of the most powerful, important, and effective state senators we have in New York, and you're fortunate to have him here from this part of Queens. Mike Gianaris, he does extraordinary things. He works harder, and I know that our councilman Julie Lund is going to be coming. Give her a shout out as well. Great to meet some of you and hear the different businesses that are represented here. As you can tell from the accent, I'm a Long Islander, so I see my friends from Bethpage Federal Credit Union. They're coming to the neighborhood. That's going to be a wonderful addition. They started on Long Island, spreading here to Queens. And it's really great. Speaking of good things transferred from different communities, when I was in the state assembly, as Dirk mentioned, and he was very nice to remind everybody I was first elected at age 18, but he wasn't nice to tell you what year that it happened, because I saw you all then saying, how old is he? But then you also said it was pretty good for that age. Well, when I was in the assembly, we looked to what was happening in New York City with the bids across the city. What a great opportunity it was for businesses to come together and enhance and improve their So we actually put in legislation that I sponsored, and Mike, along with Frank Padovan, he was in the Senate, as he chaired the Cities Committee in the Senate at the time, to allow communities outside of New York City to establish bids. So I'm very proud to say, in my former assembly district in Great Neck, we actually created the first bid outside of New York City, and it still exists, and it's doing very well. So we learned from all of you in the boroughs. So I really want to commend each and every one of you for being part of the bid. You're doing so much to enhance Sunnyside. And I like that name, Sunnyside Shines. That's who gets the trademark or the copyright on that name?
I think our original board. I think Artie Wiener and Jerry Liederman are here from the original board.
All right, well, Artie and Jerry, you get the credit then. That really is a perfect name, because it really reflects the hopes for a bright future for this community, and your work, your collective efforts is certainly making that happen. You're enriching the economic life of the community, and certainly helping to create and continue. It sounds like it's created just yesterday. It's been this way for a while in Sunnyside, where you're continuing a tradition of a safe, welcoming, and dynamic commercial district. I understand there are more than 300 businesses in your bid that represent a variety of locally owned businesses that offer quite an impressive array of goods and services. Great restaurants, shops, culture, a vibrant art scene. Sunnyside has that small town feel and the big city vibe. Hard to get both of them, right? But you're getting it. Like so many of Queens' best neighborhoods, Sunnyside draws much from the economic strength of your diversity. Sunnyside is a cosmopolitan community, but with almost a suburban-like feeling in many ways. The rich tapestry of cultures come together that really provides a unique energy and that entrepreneurial spirit that really is the important ingredient to business success. And Sunnyside Shines bid continues to draw out and build on the wonderful attributes that are there in this community, the wonderful attributes of the men and women, the entrepreneurs who are here. Look, there's no doubt, we all agree, we all have our own stories in the past few years. Your collective resolve certainly has been tested as we've gone through COVID-19, surviving it, getting through it, and trying to proceed with the recovery. We all know the devastating impact, think back to the early days of the pandemic. Obviously, first and foremost, a public health impact, and we think about that, and we're glad most of that's behind us, but certainly an economic impact as well, particularly on our small businesses that are obviously well represented in this room. Especially restaurants and retail suffered the greatest financial losses. But I'm very pleased as we look at the numbers that come to our office, the Controller's Office, we certainly can say that our state, our city, and Queens, all of these economies are recovering. So as Controller, of course, we look at numbers all the time, data. So I'm going to share some numbers with you. And more of the data is on the positive side than the negative these days. The unemployment rate for the state is now down under 4%, about 3.9% as of May. City's unemployment rate's a little higher at just over 5%. For Queens, it's actually a better unemployment rate than for the city, 4.5%, so between the statewide numbers and the New York City numbers. So despite all the challenges of inflation and high interest rates, people be concerned about where the economy's headed, we are still adding jobs, and that's a very positive sign. In fact, we recovered now, as a state, well over 90% of the jobs, the 2 million jobs that were lost during the depths of the pandemic. And in New York City, it's actually a higher percentage, more like 95, 96% of the jobs have been recovered. You know, that being said, New York is still lagging the nation in terms of job recovery. So we're getting there, we're getting close to 100%. In fact, two sectors have fully recovered 100% of the jobs that were lost and even added jobs: professional services and healthcare and social assistance. So just to look at some of the other sectors, manufacturing has recovered about 88%, retail about 77%, leisure and hospitality is now up to 92%, construction up to 94%. An interesting fact as we look at the numbers of the data, 50,000 businesses in Queens, about 40% of the businesses in Queens are women or minority owned as of the year 2021. So again, an indication of how diversity is a strength for the economy here. In terms of tax collections, Sales tax collections continue to be on a positive upswing. We're seeing some slowdown, but year over year, when we compare the numbers of 2022 versus 2021, we actually saw over a 12.5% increase statewide in sales tax collections. And in the first quarter of this year, 2023, over 7% increase. What's interesting, what's happening now, outside of New York City, actually most counties in our most recent data are seeing a slowdown in sales tax collections. In fact, year over year, a little bit behind last year. But for the 5 boroughs, actually we're seeing continued strength, more strength than outside of New York City. So I think that's a very, very positive sign. Again, because of the controller, I gotta give you numbers, right? So here's a little bit more of a granular look at your own community, looking at the Woodside, Sunnyside neighborhood in Community District 2. Woodside, Sunnyside's population grew during the pandemic, despite all those challenges, to nearly 150,000 residents. More than half were born overseas, not born in the U.S. It has the second largest share of working age population in all of Queens County, and we define working age as between the ages of 18 and 64. And the second largest share of working age population in Queens when we compare this area to the other neighborhoods. I think that's a great positive for your community. In the year 2021, which is the latest year that we have data, Woodside, Sunnyside unemployment was the lowest of any of the neighborhoods in Queens, ranking in the top 10 lowest New York City-wide of over 55 neighborhoods. Wow, lowest unemployment of any neighborhood in Queens. How about giving yourself a round of applause for that? And residents here enjoy the shortest commute times of all neighborhoods in Queens. That's a positive. 80% of residents in Woodside, Sunnyside have a high school degree or higher. Almost half have bachelor's degrees, and about 47%. And very often, education is the key pathway to economic security. So that's another positive for this area. The median household income here is now over $80,000, actually close to $81,000, an increase of about 55% since the year 2011. Compared to the citywide increase over that same decade of a little over 39%, so doing better than the city. The poverty rate for this community has dipped below 10% in 2016 for the first time, and has stayed below 10% even with the challenge of the pandemic. So again, positive news. So drilling down even more, no offense to our friends in Woodside, but drilling down to the 11104 zip code, more specific to Sunnyside, there were 600 total businesses here in 2021, 108 accommodation and food services businesses, 60 construction, 87 retail, 48 healthcare. 461 of those businesses employed less than 5 people, ranging from real estate to professional services to tech companies to finance and insurance. What does that say? As we all know, small businesses truly are the backbone of our economy, certainly the backbone of the Sunnyside economy as well. So, I know I threw a fair number of numbers at you, but by any economic measure, there are very clear signs of economic resilience and a very, very bright future that's very evident here in Sunnyside. I have to say the same can be said for so many of the neighborhoods in the borough of Queens. We've issued a number of economic snapshots over the past few years where we drilled down on some of the kinds of numbers I shared with you about Sunnyside on different Queens neighborhoods. We did one on the Rockaways, Flushing, Greater Jackson Heights, Greater Jamaica. Maybe Dirk will have me do a more deep dive on Sunnyside, you never know. But there's a very clear picture that arises from all of our examination of neighborhoods in Queens, and that is that this borough, this county, has a growing, thriving set of local economies, and so much of this has to do with the toil and the hard work of the immigrants in our neighborhoods here. I'm very confident that here in Sunnyside and across Queens we'll continue to see the recovery, the return to the strong pre-pandemic economic trajectory that was well underway, that was already fueled by that combination of new development, new jobs, growing opportunity, and of course, most important, an energetic, talented, and very, very diverse workforce. I also want to give a shout out to the borough president, Donovan Richards. He's been very focused, and where's his reps here? There, more than one rep. Reps everywhere. Give it up for Donovan. safety, economic development, education, affordable housing, sustainability, and transportation. These are the building blocks for a fairer, more inclusive, and ultimately more successful Sunnyside and more successful Queens for all the residents here. So now more than ever, we need to find ways to provide a capital to spur new opportunities for businesses. And I do want to, as I close out, mention some ways in which the state pension fund plays a role. We have two programs, and if you want more information as a follow-up, just let Jerry know, and he'll be in touch with my office. We have two programs that the pension fund provides the capital for: our in-state private equity investment program and the Pursuit Small Business Lending Program. The in-state program takes an equity stake in businesses that are either starting up or expanding and making a commitment to grow jobs in the state of New York. We've now invested over $1.5 billion in over 500 companies, including companies across New York City and in Queens as well. Pursuit Lending, that name may not be familiar with you. The organization rebranded from what had been for many years their title of New York Business Development Corporation. The Pursuit Lending partners with the Small Business Administration and provides loans, not an equity program, it's a loan program to small businesses for working capital, equipment, or real property. And we've provided about $400 million in capital to help Pursue do that lending to small businesses. They have a goal of 25% lending to women and minority-owned businesses. They always exceed that goal significantly. So if you haven't heard about Pursuit Lending and you're looking for a loan, be in touch with us. We'll connect you with the folks there. That may be an opportunity for you to take advantage of. So again, I know you have a lot of other things to get to. I really want to commend each and every one of you for how you contribute to this bid, what you do through your individual businesses and your collective efforts. Your community-minded engagement really makes a difference, really adds to the success of Sunnyside and the surrounding area. The future is shining very brightly for Sunnyside, I think all across Queens as well. My staff and I look forward to partnering with you in any way that we can. I know that in addition to your regular business, you're doing a special honor for a good friend of mine, former Assemblywoman Kathy Nolan. I did spend 20 years in the State Assembly. Kathy got there a little bit before me, but which my time overlapped with her time here. And talk about a champion and a fighter for Queens. Nobody, right, Mike? Nobody was more dedicated to her district than Kathy Nolan. And I think it's so special and wonderful that you're honored. No test at the end of this, so you don't have to. But remember two words: unclaimed funds, right? What does the Controller's Office do? We return people's lost money. You never know how an individual or a business or a nonprofit may get separated from money. It's usually an old bank account, a check that wasn't cashed. If the account is, or if the account is lost, the check is lost or not cashed, the account is dormant, an old stock account, an old bank account, life insurance policy that you don't realize you've got money left to you. After a certain period of time, the money's turned over to the Controller's Office. We hold the money in safekeeping until you find us or we find you. And we made it very easy for you to search online. Just go to the New York State Controller, put in your search engine, click on unclaimed funds, put in your business name, put in your personal name, put in the names of deceased relatives. Well, there's my Beth Page friends. Sorry. And search, and you can, if there's a match, you can get a check really in a matter of days. And you'll be surprised how many businesses are there in the system. So, you know, don't let us hold on to your money, right? You want to get that money back. So I'm very pleased that, where are our friends from Tito Red? Susan, you're here, right? Don't look surprised, Susan. Come on up. Is Mario here also?
Yes.
All right, well, one of you come up. We got a check for you. Because it really is done.
Susan Boyett, come on up.
So this is proof that there really is money there. So we found from Mario $566.32. That's real money. turn it back to Dirk.
Agenda. We're waiting for one more speaker, and we're now in the year in review. This past year, our board chair, John Vode, who had been the board chair since the founding of Sunnyside Shines, passed. He was an amazing man. He was a giant in Sunnyside. He ran the Sunnyside Chamber of Commerce. He gave of himself constantly. There were events at the White Castle regularly. He was engaged with all of the community leaders. He was an outstanding, wonderful human being. City Council Member Juan will tell you when she gets here, but I'll give you a heads up since the slide is up. She was able to secure a co-naming for 43rd Street at the White Castle in John's name. So we're doing the co-naming ceremony probably towards the end of July, beginning of August. We just are waiting for the date. So once we get permission from the City Council to move forward, we'll get going. But if we could have a moment in John's honor and just to remember the legacy that he left. Thank you. So the organization and the mission. We were formed in 2008. As Artie reminded me, Lily Gavin was one of the major founders. Everybody here knows Lily Gavin. She was a force of nature in Sunnyside. She was the one who came up with the name Sunnyside Shines. So let's have a big round of applause for Lily Gavin. Everybody here has amazing daisies. Former City Council member Walter McCaffrey used to summon me to Daisies. Sure, we're doing lunch or dinner at Daisies, and I would get summoned to the regular table. And I would learn what I was doing right and what I should be doing differently. And Walter is greatly missed as well. We are a partnership of property owners, business owners, residents, elected officials, and city agencies. Without all of these different wheels and these pegs in our stool, we wouldn't be able to do the work we do. Our mission is to invigorate and enrich the economic life of the neighborhood by creating a safe, welcoming, and vibrant commercial district. This is our bid boundaries. We went from 38th Street to 50th. We have the first 5.5 blocks of Greenpoint and the first little block of Roosevelt. We had 21 new businesses this year. 21. 2 of them are here. So I want to give a big shout out to Leon from QBK Sports, one of the greatest promotions. They're absolutely wonderful. And Massachusetts Federal Credit Union, also absolutely wonderful. They're coming here, they're going to be open soon. You'll be seeing invitations to their grand opening. If you don't have an account there, you should consider it. But we have a lot of banks we love, so I'm not going to show too much favoritism towards anyone, at least I'm going to try not to. We have, if you know the family that owns Soli Luna and Soto La Stella, they opened up a gelateria, Marco Boleno, it's delicious. Bajeco Sequoia reopened after the fire. Mad Cafe reopened. Mad for Chicken reopened. We have blended smoothies, Elio's Ice Cream, Empire Shop. If you haven't had Empire Shop's new sandwiches, they're craft sandwiches, they're delicious. Oropo Cuisine, Caprichos, Lamenia Pisco Bar, Masa Madre, Maisa de Gateau, Moa Coffee, Grove Bar, Sigma Brokerage, Sunnyside Eats, and Wingstop. And this is just the ones that have opened in the last year. And we still have a few more coming. We have 3 or 4 more spaces where we know things are coming in and we're waiting to see who's coming. We do all the street sanitation. So you see our street clean team on the street every day. We have 3 really dedicated and diligent workers. They go out, they talk to the merchants, and they sweep up every single day. 7 days a week, almost 365 days a year. Let's give them a big round of applause because they do our They also do the plaza maintenance, and they also do the graffiti cleanup. So this was behind one of the buildings on Queens Boulevard, and it gets very dirty. We walk the corridor every day. Evelyn, myself, and Daniel have walked at least once or twice a day, every single bit of the corridor, looking for graffiti, looking for problems, seeing if people have done trash illegally, and making sure it gets cleaned up. But the street clean team is amazing. Our beautification streetscapes. We started our Lake Pole flower basket program again. We put up all the new flowers. If you look along the boulevards, you'll see the flowers. I found 2 places that aren't, and they're fixing that next week. We have continuous plantings in the plaza, so 4 times a year in Bliss and Lowry Plaza, we have plantings done by the Horticulture Society. We do tree pit repair and maintenance. If you've noticed that the broken tree pit in front of your store, the store you patronize, is now fixed, It's because we paid the Parks Department to fix it. They went, they got them fixed, they look beautiful. We're going to be doing mulching and plantings very soon. Sunnyside is going to be even more beautiful than it already is. We're going to be getting all that going. Our plaza activation and neighborhood marketing, you see a picture of Sunny Pride. We had over 500 people for Sunny Pride. We had an active committee that was very dynamic. Maury Gallinoy, who was the co-creator of Sunny Pride, is here. Big round of applause for Maury. Our first Asian American Pacific Islander event, we had Japanese dancers. It was exciting. And one of our Day of the Dead events, Dia de Muertos, and one of our holiday events. Manhattan and Mexican folklore dance group comes out and dances with us regularly. They're amazing. That's actually Manhattan Land again. And another picture of Sunny Pride. Maury's waving at us. It's a very good picture. Julie Wan, Caroline Spitzer from the community board, Amelia Decaudine and Nick Berkowitz, our district leaders, and Ali Rashirs from LaGuardia. Our Sunnyside Community Cultural Initiative. We do 20 different cultural celebrations in the plazas and the open street every single year. So these events are big, they're growing. We've gone through them all at least once or twice. We're getting better at them each time, and people come out and people are looking forward. They follow us on social media, they engage, they suggest other events. We're trying to create a Romanian event, and we're trying to create a Turkish event. So hopefully you'll see that soon. We did World AIDS Day last year out in the rain. Evelyn and I both got sick. We're going to do it indoors next time because it's on December 1st, and that was not good weather. So we've been partnering with the Sunnyside Community Services. If you came here for our MLK event, we had over 300 people here, and it was exciting. We're honored to be partnering with the Queensboro Dance Festival, Sing for New York, Sunnyside Ballet, Manhattan Land, McManus Irish Dance, Dance Matters, Liberty and Spats. Look for our events and make sure you come out. We have cultural programming and Bliss in Lowry Plaza every Thursday. So either somebody singing or somebody dancing or a cultural program. So come out, tell your friends, and if you have groups that you think would be good for us, connect us to them. We're always looking for new partners. Taste of Sunnyside, our signature event. This event was created by the Sunnyside Bid, and it happens every year. It's going to happen October 15th this year. It's going to be a food crawl again. We had 57 restaurants last year. We're starting to figure out how to tweak it a little bit to get more people in. We had over 800 people come last year. That was a lot of people. We need to space it out a little bit more, so we have ideas. But it gets bigger and better every year. Sunnyside Restaurant Week. The 13th annual Sunnyside Restaurant Week was held in March and April of this year. We learned, my first year I didn't realize that you start the week in the middle of the week. I thought you started up on a Sunday. And then I realized getting all the staff out and having everything start on a Sunday and getting people excited and hyped to start, this was a bad idea. So we've gone back to starting it on Wednesdays and going through Fridays. So it's happening again. We expanded it to 2 weeks. We want to make sure that our restaurants are thriving, and it was great. We had over 50 restaurants participating last year. We went up on radio, and it got a lot of extra attention. We're about to host our 5th annual Spa and Salon Fest. It's happening in July, the first 2.5 weeks of July. It's an opportunity where we highlight our personal care businesses, our hair salons, our barber shops. It's absolutely an amazing event. Go out there. We have doggy daycare as well and doggy grooming. You have so many options, and there's so many good places here to get your nails done, get your eyebrows threaded. So come and check them out. Sunnyside Holiday Lighting. Everybody waits every year for our holiday lighting event. We got the holiday lights up in November. They came down at the end of January. We'll do this again next year, or this year. And we had the ceremony last year on Greenpoint Avenue at 43rd Street, between 43rd and 44th. We're going back to 46th Street this year. We're going to have a big celebration with the open street and celebrate those businesses. If you're on 46th Street near the Arch, go in and shop at those merchants. We have amazing stuff there. You can get a new Verizon plan. You can get a new phone. You can get your eyes checked. You can send packages at the UPS store. There's Sofra is amazing Turkish food, dumplings and things. Which one? Paris Baguette. Paris Baguette has the best parts in the world, all sorts of delicacies. They're excited about the open street. Rico Peruvian. It's an amazing block. You should go to Signature Hardware and buy something there. Choice Farm, which is our green brochure. Spend money on that block. Dime Savings Bank, another bank we work with. Go to that block and spend money. Our financial statements. They're in the annual report that you'll be able to see, but we had a surplus of a little over $4,000 this last fiscal year. We've been very aggressive about raising money, increasing our programming, and identifying new funding opportunities. It's been a lot of work, but it's been good. It's been the entire team, and it's only made possible because of the wonderful elected officials with whom we partner. Senator Gianaris and City Council Member Juan are the reason Sunnyside Shines is thriving. They're the reasons we're able to bring this cultural programming to you, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. Let's give them another big round of applause. So, $663,944 in support. And our expenses were $659,406. The costs go up constantly. Rent goes up. The cost for street cleaning goes up. The cost for printing all of our materials has gone up. It's the nature of the beast. So we have to raise more money. I'm not shy about asking for money, as a lot of people in this room have seen. I've probably come to you 450,000 times and said, we're broke, you gotta help us. We still need help. So we have a donate button on our website at Sunnyside Shines. So if you have a chance to go to the website, go make a donation that's tax deductible. Thank you to our funders, the BID property owners, Bronstein Properties, Con Edison, Green Valley Market, Long Island City Building, Lynch Funeral Home, New York City and Company, Queensboro President Richards, New York City Council Member Julie Wan, State Senator Mike Gianaris, former Assemblymember Kathy Nolan, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the New York City Department of Small Business Services, the New York City Department of Transportation, the Independent Drivers Guild, the Mason Tenders District Council, New York Presbyterian, Capolino and Company, Ponce de Leon Foundation, it's another bank that we work with, the Pickman Family Foundation, the Queens Chamber of Commerce, Street Plus, TD Bank, Triad Management, Constantinople Malone, Elmhurst Hospital, Apichik Community Health Center, Public Health Solutions, and Romantic Depot. So big round of applause to all of our funders. I also want to give one extra shout out to another, not a member of the staff, but somebody who does everything with us. Ralph Perez is here. Big round of applause to Ralph. You'll see it at every single one of our events. Without Ralph, we would do a whole lot of trouble. That's pretty much everything. If you haven't followed us on TikTok, go create a TikTok account. Follow us on TikTok. Get us over that 100-person follower list. Follow us on Instagram. We're very close to 11,000. We're over 5,000 on Facebook. We don't use the other site anymore. We're about to go up on Reddit. We're getting ready to go up on Nextdoor. We're looking for additional ways to get people activated and engaged. If you're not on our email newsletter, What's in Sunnyside, it comes out every week. It has wonderful bargains and discounts, and you won't regret signing up for it. At this point, I'd like to introduce our final speaker for the night, and then we're going to go into the voting results. So without further ado, we have the greatest city council member in Queens and the entire city. She was elected just the year before last. It hasn't been that long, it's been 2 years, and unfortunately, we're in the middle of another election because of redistricting. But she's been amazing. She fights for Sunnyside. She lives in Sunnyside. She's raising her kid in Sunnyside. She's absolutely a champion for the arts. She's a champion for small businesses. She's absolutely wonderful. City Council Member Julie Wan.
Good evening. It's so good to see you all. My name is Julie Wan. I'm the current council member for this district. I represent Long Island City, Sunnyside, Woodside, and Victoria. Can we give another round of applause for Governor Paul? As a first-generation immigrant, the only way that I'm able to stand here before you is from small businesses. My mom still currently works at a nail salon as an employee, and my dad has had all kinds of odd jobs from delis, liquor store, anything you can think of, he's done it. And because of that, because of how it's allowed me to have opportunities to go through public school and get to where I am today, it is my utmost priority to make sure that our small businesses have all the support that they need from our local BID, as well as small business services, consumer worker protections. We've had the commissioners come into our district multiple times, and we are here to assist you. My office is actually just 2 blocks away this way. So if you or your small business needs any sort of support, please feel free to come and reach out to us by email, call, just drop by Monday to Fridays, 10 to 6, and we're here to support you. And in addition to everything that Dirk has reviewed, we're going to continue to make sure together, which has been amazing. Thank you, Evelyn, and the rest of the team that has done so much. And we're going to continue to make sure that we're looking at our neighborhood holistically for public safety, for the ways to increase foot traffic, for our small businesses through open streets, and so much more. And we're going to continue to make sure that our small businesses are not just thriving, but they are truly a part of our community as neighbors, where I know that when I'm walking down the street by myself one night with my baby, there are small business owners who say hello to us, and they know I know that they're looking out for me. And that's how we want to continue to be. Thank you so much to the board. I know the board is here as well for Sunnyside Shines. If there's anything else that you need, just let us know, and we will find a way to fund it. We will find another route. And I know that Senator Reggie Norris has left, but I want to give him a shout out for being such a great partner in the state. And of course, our state controller, Thomas Napoli. I don't know how he does it. I swear he has a body double because I see him everywhere. Thank you so much, and have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you so much. So at this point, we go into the voting. So if you're either a commercial tenant or a property owner, if Janet can bring up any additional votes, then we can get the board to come up to the front. We're going to conclude the voting results. We'll announce the results, and we're going to be adjourning the annual meeting. And thank you all again for coming out. Please get some of the food. I don't think anybody's eaten the food. The food is delicious. It's from Pete's Grill. It was wonderful. It was donated. Davi and Pete, big round of applause for both of them. Everybody needs to eat.
One other thing I want to mention, I'm the current chair of contracts for the city government, and we've been partnering with local businesses, especially MWBEs. If you are an MWBE and you may be behind on rent or you're short on your revenue, contact my office and we are going to help you get a contract with the city, especially to service our local shelters so that our local shelters are getting local food that are culturally competent, hot, and delicious instead of the cold frozen meals. So please reach out and we want to help you, help them, and help this whole city. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also forgot one thing in my presentation. You're going to see new light pole banners going up next week. So you saw the ones that have the kind of russet, dark, Sunnyside at night look. Those are coming down in the next 3 weeks. The new beautiful ones designed by Daniel Flores are going to be going up in the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how fast we get the printing done and the installation. So you're going to see a beautiful new streetscape in Sunnyside. So Janet, are there any additional ballots to bring up? So bring them on up, and we're going to count this. Everyone's hold tight for like 5 minutes, and we're going to make sure that our two slates for property owners and commercial merchants have been elected, and then we will announce the results.
For people that collect funds, it's the website, because people find money they didn't know they had, that's makes them very, very happy. And so I do encourage you all to look. You'd be surprised. I did it once for myself. I didn't have anything,
I have.
but my uncle did, and he picked up about $500. So it's your money that's sitting there, not being used. So
18 million.
18 billion is the size of the fund. So there's a lot of money there. Some of it is probably yours in this room. You should check it out for sure. As for me, I appreciate the opportunity to come by and update you as always. We mentioned Kathy Nolan when I was in the assembly from Astoria. There had been reference to that for a while, but then I served with Tom and Appleby with that. And I like to say the vote I'm most proud of in my time in the legislature was when we voted to make Tom and Appleby the state controller before he got elected by the state. He was proving us right. But when I moved to the Senate, I took on Sunnyside. That was 13 years ago. And Kathy Nolan said to me at the time, here's 90% of it is show up to Sunnyside. Because your predecessor wasn't here as much. And I took that to heart. I'd like to think I'm doing more than just showing up, but I certainly show up. Often in this room, between the community meetings that happen here and Sunnyside Community Services itself, spend a lot of time in this building and the surrounding areas. And Outdoor Cats is parading under the train on a regular basis with various holidays and ceremonies, which is also a lot of fun. But we do our best to provide representation. The controller made reference to this because I've been around so long. I managed to move up the ranks. I'm now the deputy leader of the state senate, which means I'm second in command. I don't say that to brag. I say that because you should make use of that, and a lot of people have. We're able to do a lot for the community, bring home some additional resources, pass legislation a little bit more easily than say a freshman now could. And so one of the big advantages I can provide to the community is that power and that authority within the state legislature. So let us know if you need anything. We're here always to do that. In terms of this most recent session that just concluded, the Assembly just concluded late last night, from what I gather. We were done 2 weeks ago in the Senate. We moved faster. There's fewer of us, in fairness. But a few things I would highlight for you that we were able to get done. One is the things that I personally worked on, increasing the ability of people to vote. You know, we're in the middle of a primary election, so if you are among the 200 people that have voted so far, congratulations, but everybody should. It's a very, very, very low turnout election so far because there's no big top of the ticket. It's not a presidential election or even gubernatorial elections or council people are out there just kind of by themselves running these races. I think we have a DA's primary as well here in Queens. So we have basically two races that we care about and then some judicial races as well. So there's not a lot of attention to it, so you got to make sure to get out there and support your candidate and have your ballot cast. But one of the things that passed at the very end, the Assembly passed it also, so we're waiting on the governor's approval, is to allow people to vote by mail freely. And right now, the rules say you have to be sick, you have to be out of town, you have to have an excuse to vote by mail. During the pandemic, we made it an excuse to say you're afraid of the pandemic, so that opened it up pretty much to everybody, but that has expired now. And so we're back to the traditional rule where you need a more specific excuse to vote by mail, which of course has led to a dramatic reduction in votes cast by mail and votes in general. So we passed a bill, like I said, awaiting governor's signature that would allow anyone to vote by mail without a reason. That should The other thing, as we see in the shadow of the 7 train, is the MTA has been in a bit of a crisis the last couple of years. The ridership fell dramatically during COVID and has not quite recovered, in part because a lot of people are not going back to their offices in Manhattan, which is a whole other problem we're trying to deal with. But for the MTA, that means the revenues dropped dramatically. We just infused them with $1.2 billion in state money to fill the budget hole. And tried to also guide them in how to spend it wisely, because the MTA has not been known to be wise stewards of the resources they have in the past. And one of the more modest programs within it that myself and Senator Mazar Astoria got through was a pilot program for free buses. So we're going to have we're able to get approval for 5 routes. The MTA is evaluating which ones they want to choose. It's required to be 1 per borough, so there's 1 in Queens. Queens is very big, so whether it's here or somewhere else, we don't know yet. And that should be up and running in the fall. So starting in the fall, we should have 1 free bus ride in Queens, there'll be 1 in Brooklyn, 1 in the Bronx, etc. Throughout the city. And if all goes well, we're hoping it boosts ridership. This is something that some other cities have tried throughout the country with some level of success. Boston, most notably, has done this. And we're trying to just get people back in the mass transit system. Because ridership in the subways and buses is about 60% of pre-pandemic levels. So we're trying to do what we can to get people back on it, because that doesn't just help people get around, which is obviously a priority, but there's a lot of talk about public safety. A big part of people's fears on the subways and buses is that they're emptier than they used to be. So if you're standing at a bus stop or on a subway platform by yourself at night, I think you're going to be a lot more worried than if there's 100 people there with you. So hopefully this is a step towards getting people back on the system, getting the system more crowded and populated again, and we'll see how it goes and hopefully expand it as we go forward. The one area that I'm disappointed about, that I spent a great deal of time on myself, was housing policy. We are in a serious affordable housing crisis in New York, which gets worse every single day. If anyone is paying rent around here, you know this. And we were trying to kind of come together around, it's a very tricky issue, right? Because the developers want one thing, and the tenants need something else, and they hate each other, and it's hard to get them to create anything. And so we had come together in the budget, the government tried to put something in, it didn't work. So at the end of the session, the Senate and Assembly got together, and we came up with a proposal that would incentivize the construction of affordable housing, which is something the developers have been calling for, to get real affordable housing built, because we need more supply. We can all agree on that. But we also want to protect tenants in their existing homes, because rents are skyrocketing. I think what happened is the pandemic artificially depressed rents or kept them from rising as much as they would have normally. And landlords are getting deals, and now all of a sudden they're trying to, we're hearing horror stories, 50-60% increases are not unheard of at this point. And obviously people can't budget their lives around that. A lot of people are being forced to move and losing their homes and so on. So we wanted to pair the provision of subsidization of affordable housing with protections for tenants who are currently in their homes. It's called good cause eviction protections. So in other words, you would need a reason to evict someone. You can't just throw them to the street or raise their rents by 50% just because you feel like it. And unfortunately, even though the Senate Assembly got together, the governor expressed her disapproval and didn't make it over the finish line yet. But that's something we'll keep working on, and hopefully when we get back into session, January at the latest, maybe sooner, we'll be able to move something forward to finally get that done, because it is urgent. We have to do something to increase the housing stock and protect people in their homes. There were a lot of other elements of our housing package, but those are the two big ones that were part of the deal we tried to construct. So we'll keep working on that and keep working on anything that you all want me to work on. I'm sure you'll let me know. Derek, can we keep those invitations coming? What was the most recent one, Brian?
Yeah, the next one is tomorrow night,
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is last week.
It was on Monday, but we're celebrating on Friday. We're keeping the party going.
I'm not sure how to do that for this one. So, you know, I got
Independence.
married in December, so that happened. And it was not bad for a cause, but thank you. I was just saying that by way of saying I inherited an 8-year-old who was turning 9, and the party is tomorrow. So I'm not sure.
But his fondest wish was to come to a Juneteenth celebration.
Unfortunately, not to do that. And this is the applause. And we're expecting a child. That was the one for me. Tom is shocked. He knows me so well. It's December.
Wow.
Yes,
Good for you.
thank you. It'll be a holiday if all goes well. But in any event, on that note, that happy note, I will conclude and thank you for coming out here. And you should know that we'll be here consistently. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all that you do. Big round of applause for Senator Gianaris. I brought the wrong sheet of paper up. So at this point, we had a long-term elected official here in Sunnyside who always fought for our community. Somebody who was elected to office in 1995 and then served for over 3 decades with distinction. Somebody who fought for Sunnyside, somebody who always went that extra mile to make certain that she brought back resources for the district. Somebody who chaired the education committee at the state level, the labor committee at the state level, the banking committee at the state level. She was a member of the Ways and Means Committee. She supported Sunnyside Shines throughout her career. She was always there for us when we needed her. She was able to secure $450,000 in multimodal money to Sunnyside Shines, which we're working with the City Department of Transportation to build a kiosk for information and to be able to help people in Bliss Plaza at 46th Street. So eventually you'll see that kiosk. I think the timetable's been pushed back a little bit because they're about to build an elevator there. So, but it will be there, and it was because of this wonderful elected official who wasn't able to be here tonight, but we wanted to present her an award. We have 2 of her reps who are here to join us, Phil and Johanna. So let me have you guys come on up, and Jerry Liederman, if you'll come up too. Come on up. So Assemblymember Kathy Nolan, we love you. We wish you were here with us today. Senator, come up. Maria, come up. Tom, come up. We got a whole lot of good people here. So we'll take the picture, and then you guys will accept the award. So I think the comptroller's photographer and the senator's photographer. We have good photographers coming, and we have our video stream going on YouTube, I believe. So let's see.
front for you, yeah. Let me do that. Now we get the signs, absolutely.
Please no. PI lawyers.